Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 17 of What If Naruto Was a Genius Experimenter. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Created Summoning Creatures over on Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And also, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, yes, I indeed have 4 channels, guys. Yes, you heard that right, 4 channels, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and destroy that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. Go ahead and check out the other channels, link will be down in the description for Anime Prince, Anime King 2, and Anime King, guys. And yeah, without further ado, wasting more time, what needs to be jump right into this new episode. Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, the Akatsuki was on fence as they realized that majority of the tail beasts were missing, and seeing the recent development, they knew that it was a 9-tailed Jinchuriki host. This was not good. This wasn't good at all. They need to find him, however. He has been keeping himself secluded, as he was unable to be found by anyone. Recent information came out that he took the 4 and 5 tails from the hidden stone, which was even worse. The Akatsuki had literally none. No tail beasts, and yet the Jinchuriki has taken them all already. They need to make a move, and soon, otherwise they were gonna fail hard. At Konoha, Tsunade was baffled. No, she was shocked, floored. To what she received, it was a message from the Kage, asking her to attend a summit meeting between the 5 Kages. No, that was a spectral that she never expected to receive from someone like Kage himself, given a grudge against Konoha. She had a meeting with her council to talk about this. This could be one big trap to kill her. If the Kage and the Kumo leader was working together. However, there was more pressing news. The Kage had concrete evidence, information that he knew about the assailant that has been planning everything behind their backs. We then proceed to skip towards where Oniki was. Oniki was an old man now. It has been some time since he has fought in a war. The reason why Oniki had a change of heart since recently was because of his new granddaughter being born. His first granddaughter was Kurasuke, and she was the apple of his eye. As he watched her grow into a proud, powerful kunoichi, and now he had a new grandbaby. And the thought of going to war, the thought of something happening to her, if he could prevent it, was eating away at him. That was the main reason why he did not involve himself between Konoha and Kumo. However, now he believed that the mastermind behind all of this was indeed Naruto Uzumaki. Kiri also sent messages towards other villages about the taking of their Jinchuriki since Oniki sent out messages as well. The man was not hiding anything that showed that there was something seriously wrong going on here. So Tsunade decided to attend the meeting to see what was what about. And she also wanted to know if the news about Naruto was true as well. Jiraiya started to work even harder on his spy network to find out the information. The both of them did not want to believe that this was true. The new rumors had gotten around so thick as the people of Konoha started to panic. Most of them remember how they treated him when he was a child, and now, if he was truly the mastermind behind all of this, what exactly did he have planned? However, that was not going to be said for Sasuke Uchiha. When Naruto arrived, Sasuke was baffled to see that he was actually alive. He remembers shoving a Chidori clean through Naruto's chest, so this didn't make any sense at all. However, Naruto sat down, as Anko sat in his lap. The one that was going to fight him was Guren. Sasuke got angry that she was still alive, and now she dared to face him after she escaped the last time. barely alive. Sasuke attacked the woman with a vigor as the both of them started battle against one another. Sasuke started to overuse his Mangita Sharingan, but something was definitely wrong. Gorin was tanking his attacks, and not to mention she was actually overpowering him. Sasuke couldn't believe what was happening. He brought out his Sano, however she was able to break through it with her Crystal Dragon. Gorin was a lot stronger than him, as she showed that by beating him down into the ground. Naruto walked over as he said a few parting words to Sasuke before Gorin ended his life. The Zone 4 was too petrified to even move or say a single word. Sasuke was just killed. Teiwa and the others remember what happened last time. Seikon though thought that it was good to say something that would piss Naruto off, but Uncle was the one that shoved 3 black rods right through him, killing him instantly, allowing the others to freeze up. As Naruto walked over, as he had plans not to destroy Sasuke's body, this would be one of his bigger steps. He also received word from his spy that the other nations were planning a meeting between one another. This was going to be his debut, which was going to be fun. Later that night, as Naruto was in bed with Uncle, she got up to go to the bathroom when she saw Gorin waiting for her there, like she wanted to talk about something but she was hesitant to do so. As she wondered what did she want to talk about. While that was going on, Naruto was sleeping until he found himself in some sort of strange environment. At first he thought the sage was able to allow some of his chakra to remain inside of him, but that was not the case. This felt much more older and much more powerful as well. As it was a woman, she spoke to him. She was enchanting in a sort, as she wanted to, well, help him, as she say. Naruto was unaware of who this woman was, or what did she want, but she then revealed that she was the mother of all, even the sage. Now that sent him for a loop, as Naruto started to realize there was other things out there that he didn't even know of. Other powers to gain, other things to achieve, other goals to accomplish. But that will have to wait. But for now, this woman intrigued him though. Yes, she intrigued him very much. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the PlayStation for yourself. And also guys, remember to go ahead and check out the other what ifs over Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime Prince guys. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado, what is to be leap on into this new episode guys. Begin now. We begin this episode with Temari. Temari of the Sun. It was a trying time when they had lost Gaara. Despite her and Gaara's relationship never being that solid, he was still her brother. And no one knew what happened to him after the attack on Konoha. No one could find a shred of evidence, which was horrible, as they didn't know what happened and the Sun was in a trying time. However, they were able to buckle down. They were able to have peace talks between them and Konoha. It took them a long while, but they were able to get back up, with her leading them. She was the youngest Kage ever, and also the youngest female Kage as well. 2 rather prominent stature on her name. She had proven herself, the people loved her. She still missed Gaara though, as she still had no answers what happened to him back then. However, given the recent report from the Hidden Stone, she believed that this Naruto Uzumaki was actually the one that took Gaara. She tried to rack her brain so hard to figure out who the hell was Naruto Uzumaki, when it struck her. However, that guy was a nobody. He was nothing. He was in the background, in the shadows. There was nothing flashy about him. He was not that strong. The Hyuga defeated him soundly. But then she started to realize that was a gimmick. He remained in the shadows, keep out of the sight of the viewers, so that he could work in the background. Now she was furious as she made her way. It was so close. Because of the relationship with the Hidden Leaf, they would have been pulled in a war with Kumo. But if this was truly the case, that meant this guy would have caused genocide between the 3 nations and many more. What kind of person does that? Innocent people's life would have been lost. She wanted to know the answer. She wanted to find out if this guy was really the one that took Gaara away. Even after all these years, she was still angry about that. At the moment, she, her brother, and Baki made their way. They were going towards the meeting as they arrived towards the land of iron. It seems like they were the first one to arrive. As she looked around the location, she saw many samurais. One of them offered to lead them in, as she made her way towards the meeting. However, she was not the only one though. A beautiful, dark crimson hair woman. Her name was Mei-Terumi. As she was making her way towards the summit, Mei-Terumi was the Mizukage. Her search for Utsugata had come up short. They had taken in Hotaru in the village. She was a remaining member of a once prominent clan. And now Utsugata was gone, the girl was extremely sad. However, the frightening news that Mei had gotten was, the woman that had spread the name Naruto Uzumaki had a set of peculiar eyes. She had not revealed that information, she only told that while they were taken, she wanted to see the other Kages face to face and speak to them about this, because that was impossible, right? From the reports that the girl had given them, those eyes were the Rinnegan, something that the Sage of Sixth Path, the literal god of this world and god of shinobis, was said to have eyes that can change the very world itself. There was many rumors, many speculations, so that was a rather troubling thought. Oniki was also heading towards the meeting as well. Tsunade was heading as well with her 2 guards. She was still not aware if this was a trap or not. That is why she brought Jiraiya of the Sannin and my guy. Kakashi was back at the village. He was holding things down until she returned. At the moment, all active ninjas were called back because there was still a chance that this might be a trap. She had to make sure that the village was protected. Time skip. Nagato was using the body of Tendo at the moment. As he stood on top of the lion head on the tallest building in Rain, he glanced down towards his people. There was an ominous feeling in his stomach. Something bad was going to take place very soon and he could feel it. The Akatsuki had not done as his purpose suggested. They had not gathered a single tail beast. And he only had a few members left. Itachi, Kisame, and the zombie brothers. Madara was not in the picture because he was doing something different. Him and Zetsu mostly to gather information to find out where the hell was Naruto Uzumaki located. So far they weren't able to find him anywhere, and that was problematic. None of the remaining tail beasts were on the market. That meant if the Akatsuki did not gather any, and the elemental nations lost the remaining ones, Naruto Uzumaki will have all 9 tail beasts, and there's no telling what he will do with that. Nagato could tell that this person was a sinister person that wished to see the downfall of everything, unlike him who wanted to see peace in this world. He believed that the hatred from being a Jinchuriki for so long from the people had twisted this person's mind to turn him into someone that would bring nothing but pure, unbreakable genocide. While Nagato wanted to show the world that war is something to fear, this will be worse than any of them think, and he knew that for certain. As he needed to know where he is, because he believed at the moment only he can fight him. Nagato didn't know why, but he believed that Naruto Uzumaki has obtained a power that they should all be wary of. Some time ago, his Rinnegan was acting all strange. His eyes were itching. There was a strange saturation in the air. At first he thought that it was something affecting his vision. He'd asked Konan if she felt anything as well, but she felt nothing. Something was permeating the air and he wasn't sure what it was. And then it just vanished. And his gut told him that it was Naruto Uzumaki. And what he felt was overwhelming. A crushing flow that will decimate everything in its path to get what it wants. A force of nature that will wipe away everything. Something that they all should worry about. And it was coming. And he was certain of it. Meanwhile at Taki, there was bodies littering everywhere. Jonins, Chunins, and Genins. The place was a mess. There was a gigantic tree in the center of the village, but at the moment it was toppled down. It had crushed hundreds of houses, buildings. The place was pure destruction. A single individual walked calmly, his eyes pulsing with unnatural power as he simply walked. There was no staggering to his movements. It was like he was gliding instead of walking normally. From any other viewpoint, it would seem like he was a benevolent god who came to reap destruction and chaos. He stopped in front of the destroyed hall. Inside was a man. The man looked up at him, a kuna in hand, blood running down his face. Naruto took a deep breath. As he looked around, there was bodies all over. People crying in pain and agony. He raised his hand. "Come," he said. The man was yanked as Naruto gripped his throat. The man had short black hair and blue eyes. His name was Shibuki, leader of this village. At first, it was so calm, so peaceful, when this man had dropped like a bomb, tearing right through their defenses, their illusion that they placed up to hide their village. He had created a massive crater. He then proceeded to start to slaughter people, just to prove some kind of point. What was that point, Shibuki did not know. However, countless died. They tried to fight back, but they were all decimated. He had then pulled the literal tree right out of the ground with some unnatural power and dropped it on thousands. And now they were in this situation. "Tell me, where is she?" This was the first time the man was talking to him. "If I remember correctly, her name is Fu." Shibuki grit his teeth. "You're him, aren't you? You're Naruto Uzumaki." "Ah, you heard of me. Fantastic," said Naruto. A few shinobis got to their feet as they rushed. They were faking death, their blades ready as they stabbed it down towards Naruto. However, the inches of the blades broke by some unseen barrier that did not allow them to pierce his skin. And the freckles of the blade that were floating in the air shot in their sockets, killing them immediately as it pierced their brain. Their bodies dropped. Shibuki grit his teeth. "You bastard!" Naruto raised his left hand and slapped the man across the face. "I will kindly suggest that you watch your words and speaking to me. A lamb don't behave stupid when it's about to get slaughtered," said Naruto. Shibuki could only grit his teeth. "I won't tell you a single thing," he said. If I'm thinking correctly, one of the other nations must have come to you. And it must have been Konoha. I mean, why would you hand your Jinjuki over to any of the others? Given the regions that you're located in, near to the Fire Nation. So it must be Konoha. But exactly where is she? That is the point I'm trying to make. If I were to go to the Hidden Leaf, they will fight me with everything they got. But I'm sure that none of them will reveal the secrets, unless I go to drastic measures. But I don't want to do that yet. It's such a shame. The only thing I wanted was the 7 tails. However, at first I wanted to break your spirit, to make you people know that I will be leading from now on. So I had to rough your village up for a bit. Shibuki tried to speak, but Naruto gripped his throat tighter, stopping him from talking. "Be quiet," said Naruto, as he sighed in annoyance. "The 7 and 8 are out of my reach. Well, I guess I'll just have to speak to them when I attend the summit. I'm sure they will be kind enough to hand them over, despite what will happen to their village." As Naruto released the pressure. "What do you want?" Shibuki said. "Why are you doing this?" "You want to know what I want? You want to know why I'm doing this?" said Naruto in a mocking tone. "Well, I suppose I can tell you." As Naruto leaned and whispered something in his ear, for a good minute before he pulled back. The look on Shibuki's face was one of shock. "You monster!" As Naruto released him and started to walk away. "I won't allow you to do that, even if it kills me." As Naruto started to smile, he held up his hand to the heavens. "Well, it doesn't really matter because you're already dead." As he reached up, and he seemed to grip onto mid-ear for no particular reason, before he brought his hand down. Shibuki was confused. However, he flashed through hand sign. He slowly stopped though as he saw a shadow. When Shibuki glanced up, what he saw petrified him. I believe this is my first example I have to make. But even after witnessing my power, they will still choose to fight. However, their spirit will be broken a bit. Once they realize the calamity that has befallen upon them, they will understand. But only then will they understand. And my dream, my ambition, it is something that will succeed. You or no one else will stand in my path. I can assure you of that. Shibuki dropped to his knees. He couldn't understand. How can a mere human possess such power? Shibuki could not fight this. He could not stop this. His village, his people, him, everything was done for. A small, renowned smile came on his face. When the Hokage came to him, talking about the remaining Jinchuriki, he thought that Konoha was just trying to take it to boost their ranks. However, the woman had sat down with him and told him about the dangers, so much of them lurking around the corner. And she had this look on her face. And he did not deny what she had to say. But here he was believing that if he gave the girl away, his village would be safe. As much as he cared about food, he would have to sacrifice everyone in his village, and he just couldn't do that. But at least she was safe now. Well, at least he hoped that she was safe. That was his final thoughts as a meteor that was dragged from the heavens slammed into Taki with tremendous force, crushing and destroying everything. The entire coastal section was wiped off the map as the meteor created a gigantic crater that sunk deeply within the earth, crushing the entire houses and buildings, leaving behind absolutely nothing. It was all just erased. People were flattened and destroyed. There was not even a single soul left. Floating above all of this was Naruto. As he looked down towards it, there was no emotion, no remorse on his face. After all, there was more to come. However, he had a meeting to attend. Time skip. The place was tense as Tsunade made her way down the hall, as Mifune himself came to greet her. She was the last to arrive here, as she had made sure to set it up that way to have Jiraiya check the area to see if this was any gimmicks or any false pretenses. However, he found nothing. She also made a big plan. Because of their relationship with Taki, she decided to go there to speak to the elders and the leader himself, telling them that it would be best if the Seven Tails was in their care. They had also heard about what was going on, and she had let them read the note from the Tachikage himself. They were shocked, after all. This Stone and Konoha never really got together as friends at all, so this was a true sign that something really big was going on, and they need to be prepared. She could see that most of them there was happy to give away food, because they did not like the girl, and her bringing threats towards the village. It was common in most villages, except for Kumo, about the mistreatment of their Jinchuriki. However, she was able to get the girl to safety. As they made their way down the hall, the two giant doors opened as Mifune first stepped in. Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Guy afterwards. As Mifune turned towards them, "Your two guards can wait up at the top of the podium," he said. There was no guards inside on the table. She turned as she gave Jiraiya and Guy a nod. The both of them were serious as they flashed towards the top. Jiraiya narrowed his eyes around as he saw the other guards. The guards from Kumo gave him a strange look, as the atmosphere was tense. Tsunade's eyes fell on none other than Raikage. The man seemed to barely holding back himself. However, it's not like she feared him. Oniki was looking rather calm, something that was unusual for him. She looked over towards Temari, who greeted her with a smile, as she gave the girl back a curt smile. As she saw the other, Mizukage, who gave her a smile as well despite not being in contact with the woman. Tsunade returned the gesture with a nod, as Mifune turned towards her. "If you can have a seat," he said, "we will commence this meeting." She made her way and she sat down and took off her hat, as she placed on the table where all the other hats were. "Now," said Mifune, "I will be the proctor for this meeting. Since the Tachikage was the one to call this, why don't we begin with you? We have some urgent matters to discuss, if I'm not mistaken." "Yes," Oniki said, as he looked towards all of them. "The both of you are currently itching to attack each other now, thinking that this is some kind of plan that I've set up. However, I can assure you, I'm not involved with your little petty war. What? The Raikage said, as he would toss the war aside like it was nothing after what he's been through. That is not important right now. Before you blow your hinges, let me speak what I come to realize. The both of you have been played by someone that you not even notice, going around, messing with your heads, and causing actions to move that you did not even see. As Kage yourself, that is truly disappointed. You have no idea what you're talking about, the Raikage said. The Hidden Leaf started this, coming against us with accusations when we had nothing to do with it. We started this? You kill our shinobi for no reason, said Tsunade, and then you claim that you weren't involved at all. That is exactly what I'm talking about, said Onki. The both of them looked towards him. Do you two really believe that each other has something to do with what you're claiming? Yes, the both of them said at the same time. Oniki sighed. Recently, there was a development with this Naruto Uzumaki character. I saw him firsthand. Describe him, said Tsunade. Oniki retold her everything that he saw, down to his eye colors. However, when they came across that, all of them froze. Wait, what do you mean, said Tamari. Aren't those supposed to be myths? Before we continue anything else, I would like to say that there was some information that came to me that I did not disclose in the letter, said Meiterumi. And what might that be, the Raikage said. The informant that informed us about this Naruto Uzumaki was said to possess not only a Byakugan but also a Rinnegan as well. A Byakugan? Said Raikage as he looked towards Tsunade, thinking that this was a trick, that she was one behind this. However, the look on her face was one that he did not understand. She seemed concerned, like she didn't know what was going on. As he calmed himself. You're telling me that there's 2 sets of Rinnegan out there, and that these individuals are running around collecting tailed beasts. The Raikage went quiet as he started to think about the causes that happened for Yujito to be taken away. As he remembered what happened in the village, and how his shinobis told him that the leader was acting strange of the village that they went to. Could this really be something that he had noticed? Could his anger really blind him to the real mastermind behind all of this? Tsunade was also thinking as well. The facial feature was different to what the Tsuchikage said. However, the hair color and the whisker marks, that was the most part that found her rather hesitant. Naruto was blonde with 3 whisker marks. That wasn't very common in this ninja world. That was rare, as they all believed that it was because of the fox that gave him those marks. The mutation from being inside Kushina with the fox chakra in there. Could this really be Naruto? She wondered to herself. Tamara was also thinking it over. This was much more than she signed up for. The Rinnegan? As she had read about the myth, the Sage of Six Paths, a man that was supposed to be the god of the shinobi world, the eyes that belonged to a god. How could someone in this day and age have those eyes? That was impossible, right? That is when the table started to crack. Immediately, all Kages jumped away. The bodyguards jumped down as they flanked their Kages immediately. The table exploded outwards because something came from underneath the ground. Samurai started to rush in the room as Mifune raised his hand, stopping all of them. A pink crystal emerged. It was large enough to house 2 people inside. The pink crystal cracked and shattered, showing the 2 people that were standing there that came from underneath the ground. Well, it seems like we're the eye of the party, said Gordon as she looked towards Uncle. Yes, it seems that we. Guy narrowed his eyes. Jerry couldn't believe what he was seeing. Uncle, he said. He knew her because he remembered working on her seal. As he couldn't believe what he was seeing. You know her, the Raikage said, looking towards Jiraiya. As Tsunade was the one that speak. She's a missing name from our village. Uncle, you're alive. How are... We will get into that a second. However, I'm sorry to say that he's been delayed. There's something that he's currently dealing with at the moment. Tsunade clenched her fists. Him, she said. Uncle gave her a smile as Guren looked around the room. The right Kage took notice of her eyes. So it's you, he said as he shot forward. As he was going to capture one of them now. If this individual, Naruto Uzumaki, believed that he can take their Jinchuriki, he would just take his comrades. Uncle turned towards the man. As she raised her hand, he was gonna pulverize her right into the ground. However, his entire face was blown back. The skin on his face seemed to ripple backwards as his eyes bulged. Before his body was thrown, he whipped past his two guards, Darui and C, before he broke into the wall. Immediately, Tamar pulled her fan. As she raised it up, Guren slammed her hand together as a gigantic jade crystal formed around her. However, Onki was not gonna allow them to even make another move. The crystal was captured in a white box, as he was gonna turn them all to dust with his particle style. However, Uncle raised her hand. Oniki was shocked when he felt control of his technique being lost. What the hell? He said in confusion. All of the chakra was sucked away, leaving the crystal dome completely fine. The right Kage came exploding through the wall, his hair shooting upwards. His body was covered in lightning. Now, said Uncle. If you guys will just settle down. However, something hit the crystal, a blanket of lava. As the lava was unable to melt through, Terumi eyes went wide. There was absolutely nothing her lava could not melt. However, Guren was producing a large quantity of chakra that kept her crystal well refined and seemingly unbreakable to me lava, which was quite baffling to how deadly her lava release was. As Kojiro and Ao was shocked by this development, but they said nothing as they prepared themselves. However, before anyone else could make a move, the lava was blown away. The lava was blown away, which made no sense, but it was blown like it was just mere fire that was outed. A strange unnatural wind that seemed to just eviscerate everything around it. Everyone had to stand their ground, sending chocolate to their feet. The ceiling was torn off. Samurais prepared their blade. As their blades started to glow with chakra, hundreds of them surrounded the area. Many of them looked up and what they saw was a rather shocking sight. It was a person, an individual lowering himself, like some kind of god descending from the heavens. The entire foundation of where they were rattled and shook violently as he slowly touched down. It was then that the pink crystal shattered completely, as it seemed to just turn into nothingness. The two girls looked towards him with a smile as they made their way over towards him. As Naruto sat down in a small little podium that was there, the two girls standing to his side. The right Kage narrowed his eyes as he clenched his fists. So this was him, huh? As he looked at those eyes, they seemed to be different from the one that girl possessed. They had a strange tomo in them like the Sharingan. Tsunade was speechless. Jiraiya was shocked. As you remember all those years ago, when Naruto came to him for help, when he had felt so guilty because the kid wasn't strong enough and he wasn't there. Guy couldn't believe it either. This was Kakashi's student. He had changed so much. As Naruto's eyes scanned the room, everyone was silent. All eyes were on him. Until Oniki spoke. So, you finally decided to show yourself. Oh, I was always planning on showing up. After all, this is where I let you guys understand how the world is gonna change from now on. Naruto! The angry voice of Tsunade spoke up. Oh hey there, Bachan, he said. As she clenched her fist so tight, her knuckles started to turn white. You're really behind this. I have refused to believe it until now, even though the evidence was always there. Even when the rumors came. Why? All this time. Tell me why, she yelled at him. It's quite simple. The Naruto that both of you know, he said, looking towards Jiraiya as well, was just a facade. A personality I took to keep my real personality in hiding. After all, I've been planning for too long to let you guys mess it up. And besides, back then, I wasn't strong enough to stop you if you decide to make a move against me. Jiraiya clenched his fist as well, as he kept his mouth though. The man was angry. No, he was livid. All this time. All of the memories between him and Naruto's reactions flashed through his head so fast. It seemed Sensei was wrong, as Hiruzen believed that Naruto was just lonely, that he didn't have anyone, so he closed himself off, but indeed, he was the monster in disguise. Why do all of this? Said Tsunade. What do you hope to achieve? Well, it's quite simple. Something that has not been done since the Sage of the Sixth Path was upon this earth. And what would that be, the Raikage said? Complete subjugation. All of them in the room gasped a bit, as he looked towards him like he was mad. You can't be serious. You intend to take over the 5 elemental nations, Mei said. Not just the 5 nations. The entire world, said Naruto. Oniki looked towards him. Young starts like you seem to have no proper etiquette or understanding of what this entire world represents. Do you really believe that this will go without us stopping you from taking these measures? I know you will. However, once this meeting is over, why don't you have a look at Taki? As Naruto turned towards Tsunade. By the way, I'm gonna need the 7 tails. And also, the 8 tails as well, he said, looking towards the Raikage. Over my dead body, the Raikage said. Oh, I plan to. But we'll get to that later, said Naruto. The Raikage clenched his fist lightning, started to sparkle around him. However, Tsunade raised her hand, stopping the man. As he looked towards her with a glare, however, she spoke a single sentence. This war, all of this, is this you? Yes. That froze all of them. Mostly the Raikage, as he couldn't believe how stupid he was. I indeed took the 2 tails. I set everything up. It has been me the entire time, said Naruto. It was quite fun seeing you guys going around, going after each other like they're the enemy, when you guys have nothing to do about it. And Hinata? Tsunade said. Oh, that was me, Uncle said, with a smile. Fried her brains. Tsunade fists clenched, as you could hear her knuckles popping, as she was ready to move to blubber them to nothingness. As Naruto looked towards her. Easy, he said. There's no need for you all to die just yet. Jiraiya started to gather the necessary chakra to summon Ma and Pa, as he prepared himself to enter Sage mode. Something telling him that this was not going to be easy. Whoever this person was, it was not Naruto, the one that he met. It wasn't the kid that wanted help. It wasn't the kid that was so nice and he felt so remorseful. It wasn't that kid. This was a completely different monster who was willing to watch hundreds, thousands die and simply think it was fun. This was a monster that needed to be eradicated, and Jerry could see that clearly. If they didn't stop him now, the entire world would be at risk. The samurai started to gather around as Naruto turned towards Mifune. I think you should tell your friends to stand down. Besides, I'm not done talking. I'm afraid we can't allow someone like you to leave this place, Mifune said. The threat that you bring to the world is too dangerous. All of you will be put down right here. As much as neutral as our country is, we cannot allow the entire world to be subjugated by someone like you. Is that so? Said Naruto. Hey! Said Temari as Naruto looked towards her. My brother, what happened to him? Oh, he was one of the first ones I took. Don't worry, he's long dead, said Naruto. She clenched her fan rather tightly as Kankuro sent his puppet underneath the ground. As all of them were ready to make a move. They couldn't allow these people to leave here alive. They had to die, and all of them saw that plain and clear. All this time, this trickery. You were just using everyone to get what you wanted now, finally making your move. But you made a big mistake, said Tsunade. You are not the Naruto that brought me back. As you said yourself, that was just a facade. You're nothing but a monster that we need to stop. Oh yeah, said Naruto. Suddenly there was a poof. The puppet exploded from underneath the ground as Kankuro twitched his finger. However, Gurren smashed her fist into it, turned it into pieces. A body appeared as Naruto caught it by the back of the neck and threw it. Tsunade jumped out of the way, not trusting it to be some kind of trick with the explosive. However, what she saw baffled her. The lifeless eyes of Sasuke Uchiha was lying there dead, a gaping hole in his stomach. Guy and Jiraiya looked down towards it. I figured that I could do you guys a favor by bringing back the last Uchiha. Tsunade shot forward as her fist caught back as she threw it. Neither of the girls stopped her as her fist smashed into Naruto's face. All of them thought that he was over. Even the Raikage knew how powerful Tsunade was. After all, she almost beat him in the arm wrestling one time. In terms of strength, she was stronger than him. But he was faster, that was the thing. However, she hit him square in the face. There was no way that he should be... Wow. You really intended to take my head off clean. I guess you're too pissed to think with your heart. Well, after what I did, you must hate me right now, said Naruto. Well, it doesn't really matter, he says. He held her wrists. Guy shot forward, however. He was blocked by Gurren as her hand stopped his kick like it was nothing. Guy was shocked. She grabbed his leg and slammed him right in the podium, cracking it before she kicked him to the side as he slammed into the wall with violent force. Guy groaned in pain, shocked at how strong she was. Come on, said Jiraiya, as he had to wait until Ma and Pa were summoned, but he couldn't allow Naruto to. He rushed forward, leg cocked out to kick Naruto's head clean off, despite Tsunade's failed attempt. However, Anko turned towards him and he was sent sailing. Another gravitational force. Its body crashed where Guy crashed a moment ago. They never learned, she said. The Raikage appeared behind her as he brought his fist down to chop her head clean off. The lightning that was coursing across his hand was 100% as he grit his teeth. However, before he could do anything though, all the chakra from his hand was sucked away as Anko turned and smashed her fist into his stomach, launching him back towards the wall. A black panther rushed towards her. Lava came from the other side as she held out her hand. Almighty. Push, she said as she focused gravitational force. The lava attacked and the Black Panther was blown away as the others had to jump away as well. Naruto leaped onto the roof, still holding on to Tsunade's wrists. As she could not get away, they landed on the roof. She swung her other fist, but he ducked as he went to her and wrapped his arms around her, as he rested his chin right on her shoulder. She growled in anger, trying to get free, but he held on to her tight. Let me go, she said, as she tried to kill him. She was not going to spare him this person. He had to die. Her mind was set up. She had to protect the people of Konoha. Shh, he whispered in her ear, as they looked down towards the fighting. I'm not here to kill you. In fact, I'm not here to cause anything yet. But you should know, I will burn Konoha down to the last man. You don't have to give me the 7 tails yet. But I will come for it. And don't worry, Konoha will not be destroyed when I come. But the people in your village, I'm afraid that all of them are gonna die. You are willing to kill thousands of innocent. Innocent? Come on, Bachan, he said. Don't you remember what I went through? So this is because of your childish feelings, your pain that you received when you were younger. Actually, in a sense, no, said Naruto. I'm not really sure when it happened, but something broke me when I was younger. Maybe it was a constant attacks. That must be it. But when it came to a certain point, I just stopped caring about human life. To the point where I was ready to take mine, however. That is where I found something wonderful. A lab. And from then on, my life changed. I began to experiment. I began to change my entire mindset and view on the future and what is to come. Since I was 10 years old, I plotted to take everything, to control everything, to be the literal god of this world. And with the power I aim to succeed, with the power I aim to surpass, there will be nothing, no one Not a single soul that will be able to come up against me. I will be the definition. What truly is a god of this world? And you're willing to condemn thousands and even hundreds of thousands for that. I will do whatever it takes. Even burn this world 100 times over to get what I want. As I told you before, human life doesn't really mean much to me. Nothing really does. My goal is the only thing that matters. And I will do whatever, whenever it takes to achieve my goal. Your parents would be so disappointed. Yeah, I know. I met them, said Naruto. They weren't too happy. But you know, I'm not gonna kill you, said Naruto. Konoha has wronged you as well, taking away everything from you. However, once I take over, your life won't have to be so bad. After all, I will be in charge of everything. I will own everything and everyone. And throughout generations until the end of time, I will be marked on this earth as the one and only God that no one can stop, that no one can mess. And when that day comes, you realize it's a lot better. Besides, you won't have to do those damn paperworks. Oh, here we go, said Naruto as he turned. A Rasengan was gonna slam right into his face. However, he tilted his head and grabbed Jiraiya's arm. Still holding on to Snappi, he released her, causing her to flip back. The Rasengan was inches away from his face, until Jiraiya let the thing implode. As Ma spoke up, did that get him, she said. I don't think so, said Paul. Jiraiya boy, watch it! Jiraiya tried to step away, but Naruto gripped him in the side. Despite his reinforced sage skin, Jiraiya couldn't help but cry out in agonizing pain as Naruto gripped into his flesh, literally drawing blood, despite his body being enhanced by Sage Mode. Ah, nature energy. You should know something, said Naruto. I have that too. Black markings started to spread across Naruto's face, shocking Jiraiya. A Rasengan formed in his left hand as he shoved it forward. However, Naruto simply started to inhale. To Jiraiya's shock, the Rasengan started to dissipate as Naruto inhaled the blast, before he pulled his head back and slammed it in Jiraiya's skull. Blood exploded from the man's skull as he staggered back. Jiraiya boy, said Ma, as they quickly started to send the nature energy to his head to heal it up. However, they weren't fast enough as Naruto appeared. Jiraiya's body broke through the building as Naruto slammed his head down. Naruto turned as Snappi's fist slammed into his palm. The entire top floor shattered, black markings across her body as Naruto looked towards the ceiling on her forehead. Before he raised his hand and shoved it forward, her eyes widening in shock as Naruto's hand tear right through her. However, she did not let that stop her as she gripped him by the neck. Before she held on to him, trying to snap his neck. Being so close, she started putting every ounce of willpower and strength that she had. However, his head would not budge. I'm impressed, said Naruto. I can literally feel your organs trying to repair itself. Snappi spat out blood as Naruto's hand was roaming around inside of her stomach. This is truly impressive. Still, not close to my healing ability, but still something, said Naruto. A violent explosion went off down below as a gigantic crystal exploded outwards. I think this should be enough, said Naruto. Now you all have a common goal to work for. P.S. Once you reach home, why don't you go and have a look at Taki? That is what I'm gonna do to Konoha times 10. It's gonna be much worse, said Naruto. So you better try and find a way to stop me before then. You won't get away with this, she said, as she dropped to one knee because Naruto kept on pushing his hand deeper inside of her. It wasn't coming through her back. It was roaming around inside of her. As blood leaked from her mouth, he simply smiled before he ripped his hand out. She came up with an uppercut. However, he grabbed her hand and threw her into the building wall before he jumped down. When Naruto landed, he landed on the neck of Kankuro, who was already dead. Several crystal shards right through his throat. He kept on walking as he came across C, who was on the ground, but Naruto paid him no mind. The right Kage pulled himself out of the wall. He was in 100%, as Naruto turned as he saw Oniki, Mei Terumi, Temari, It seems like she wanted to cry, probably seeing her brother's death. The other one would put a lot of weight on her to get angry and get revenge. However, a white, ethereal glow exploded around Naruto, causing the entire room to bristle with power. A gigantic white hand picked up the two girls. As they looked up towards Naruto, he was in a strange, see-through, hologramic thing that all of them looked towards. It was tall. However, they could not see the body. All they saw was a white hand. A little surprise for later, said Naruto. He then took off. He seemed to be flying, but they could not tell how. All they saw was a white hand that picked up the girls. You better be prepared. It's starting soon, he said as he was gone. Meanwhile, damn, said Uncle as she rolled her hand. It was already healing. That my guy is as strong as ever, she said. He had snapped a few bones in her hands when he had entered into his gates and kicked her. You know, said Gurren, holding back to not kill any of the Kages. Could have gotten us killed, she said. After all, they're going at us full force. I know, said Naruto. Why do you think I didn't take so long? After all, I can't have anything happen to you too. You're the only two that I care about in this world. And should anything ever happen to you too, I don't know what I'll do. The two girls had blush on their face hearing that. To be the only thing that he cared about. They didn't know why, but he gave them this self of pride. They didn't know what it was, but it felt so nice. Now, said Naruto, let's go prepare. Time skip. Naruto slowly made his way down a dark corridor. He was rather calm, his hands in his pockets, as he slowly made his way until he came across a room. Walking beside him was Teiwaya. She was one leading him here. The girl was afraid, since the day that Naruto had met them when he released that bloodlust on them. Not to mention that he had the power to snuff out their life if he seems it fit. She was afraid. Not to mention Karen had not stepped a single foot close to Naruto since he took over. Yes, she had fallen in line just like the others, but his chakra frightened her. His soul was dark and tainted, and she could feel his very essence, his emotions were too much for her to stand. For a censor, it was hard on her. He was awful. That is the only thing she had to say. He was downright awful. Arriving towards the room, Naruto stepped up, making his way inside, as Teiwaya stood outside knowing that she should not enter or hear what is going on. As Naruto looked over towards the hooded figure, he closed his eyes as he seemed to feel around with his mind. Ah, you're a lot stronger. That is good. I believe that you're prepared for what is about to come. Laughter could be heard, a sick, twisted laughter. You know, I could have never thought that one day you will be the one that is causing this world to go into turmoil. Well, what can I say, said Naruto. Someone had to do it. I guess you're right. However, you won't be alone in your little endeavor. Well, you already told me that. Besides, it's good that the strongest are working together. After all, if you had went against me, I would have to tear your head off your body. He laughed once again. Oh, come on, no, Naruto-kun, he said. Threats won't get you anywhere. Well, Kabuto, he said. I'm not really threatening you. I'm merely telling you what would have happened. But it's good that we're working together. Besides, once this is all said and done, the world will need strong people like us to lead it. It will need the rest of the followers to fall in line. And if they don't, well, there's only one simple option for that. Death. As Kabuto laughed once again. He didn't know why he found it so hilarious, but it was. What about the Akatsuki, he said. Oh, don't worry. Their little lapdog, their spy, was at the meeting. I pretend not to notice. He will be reporting back what I told him. However, I'm curious to see which route they will take. If they will try to side with the elemental nations. Or what? Stay out of it until I'm weakened. Perhaps that is their goal. As Kabuto smirked at that. Maybe it is. And maybe they will try to find a way to kill you once you are weakened. Yes, that would surely be amusing, said Naruto. So what about the other two tailed beasts? I'm not sure at the moment, however. I intend to trample their army and their Kages in front of their eyes to make them realize that all hope is lost. And if they don't hand over the beasts by then, I will enter their villages and rain havoc and destruction upon everything until they spill the beans. You know, you could just go there now and forcefully take them by destroying the nations. With the power that you have, I'm sure that you're capable of doing that. Naruto looked toward his hand. Yes, I am, he said. However, where's the fun in that? If I don't crush your spirits now, they will still try to fight me. And planned subjugation will not work. You get what I'm saying? I guess you're right. Well then, my preparations are almost done. You will have an army soon enough. Stronger and faster than ever. They will all return and bring down nothing but chaos and calamities on the entire elemental nation. And I'll be sitting back here and watching the fun, Kabuto said. Yes, and I do hope you enjoy, said Naruto, as he started to walk. Oh, Kabuto, if you betray me, I'll kill you, said Naruto. Yes, you've reminded me many times, Naruto-kun. Oh, just making sure that you understand. As Naruto left the room, his tone might sound humorous, but he was not joking. Kabuto snarled though. Kabuto intended to obtain the power that Naruto had, maybe even something better. Naruto's body was the perfect thing that he needed right now. The amount of power oozing from him was what Kabuto needed. However, Naruto would need to die for him to get that. The task did not sound actually possible. From what he was able to gather so far, he was a downright beast in terms of strength, speed, and everything right now. So Kabuto did not know how he was gonna accomplish that. However, for now he would work with him until he saw his right moment to get what he wanted. Or maybe he would just sit back and enjoy the fun. He didn't know. Its mood changed every now and then. However, he was sure gonna sit back and relax and enjoy what is to come. Meanwhile, that was going on. Itachi Uchiha was silent, as Zetsu had just told everything that happened at the meeting. The members were shocked. Pain was baffled by what he heard. He knew that something was wrong, and now he understands why. Two other Rinnegan users in the world. That was not something that was good at all. However, Itachi was the one that was struck the deepest. When he heard about Sasuke's death, that was the whole reason why he had joined this organization. To protect the leaf, to make sure that Sasuke had a home to go back to. However, now none of that was possible. Because he was dead. He was gone. Suddenly Itachi hologram vanished. Pain and Konan looked towards Kisame. Where did he go? Kisame looked towards him confused. I have no idea. I'll check, he said, as he vanished as well. Meanwhile, that was going on. Three envoys stood at the premise of what used to be the Waterfall village. However, it was no more. Taki was gone. What lay in its place was a gigantic meteor that seemed to have fallen from the heavens. That was the only questionable theory that they had. There was no other location that it could have come from. Not underneath, not from the side. From the heavens. Is this really what they're going to go up against? Does someone really possess this kind of power? Even the envoys who usually kept their calm demeanor was baffled, shaken by the prospect of fighting this monster. That was the only thing they could call him right now. How could someone possess this kind of power? This must be the power of a god. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notification so you posted. Remember, share to all of your friends, your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the other what ifs over on Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime Prince, guys. Yes, that's right. I indeed have 4 channels that I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, check them out, and enjoy, guys. So yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.